Whether or not being super accurate is important to you, understanding the safe way to use a rotary cutter is super imperative to this craft, this skill that we call quilt making. So I want to spend a little time talking about the different rotary cutters, the different size blades, why we use, what we use, and how to use them safely. Let's roll right overhead and look at these awesome cutters I've got laid out for us today. Now, brand is not specific, but you can see that I do own an awful lot of the Olfa cutters because I really do like this brand. But we're not talking about brands, we're talking about blades right now. And I want to talk about the different size blades you see. So we're going to start up here at our very largest ones, our 60 millimeter, that's a 6.0. Now, the 60 millimeter, the bigger the blade, the more layers it can cut through, the straighter the cut, the deeper the cut. So when you're cutting a lot of layers or a lot of thick layers, that 60 millimeter blade is going to be fantastic for you, that nice big cutter. Now, quickly though, while we're looking here, you'll notice there's a couple of different handles. One is just set up to be a little more ergonomic, but also features a squeeze trigger that brings the blade past the safe point. I love this cutter because I keep it on my wall, and I have grown up as a quilt maker while having my small children grow up in the studio. So this one is safe because it goes back to a safe position. This cutter, like a lot of the other cutters on the market, when you pull it back, now the blade is exposed, and I could accidentally leave this blade exposed on the table, and I could run my hand across it and have some serious bleeding issues all over. Of course, it would be white silk at that moment. So the difference in the handles is partly regarding the way you hold it, but also in the regards to the way that the safety works. Same is going to be the case for these two different handles here. These two different handles you're looking at are the 45 millimeter cutter. The 45 millimeter cutter is the cutter that we use almost all the time in our regular patchwork quilt making. It's great for cutting, let's say 6, maybe 8 layers with a sharp blade if you're good and strong. I don't love to do a lot of folding. We're going to get into that when we talk about ruler management and cutting straight lines and that kind of thing. So I've got another little video I'm working on for that. But thicker layers, we were talking about the 60, now we're down to the 45. So I'm gonna do about 4, 6, maybe 8 layers of regular weight cotton up against a ruler. 45 is just a great tool for that. You're gonna get a fantastic amount of control. And again, the difference in these cutters here, as you're looking at them, these cutters, it's just the way the handle works. This one right here, the same. You're going to remove or slide back that trigger, and that's going to go ahead and expose the blade. So this is in an unsafe mode right now. Now it's safe, and I would not cut myself. This kind of a cutter here, it has a control on the back where you set it to light or heavy duty. And with that, when you press down on the cutter, then what happens is the blade itself is exposed, and you can then cut through those layers of fabric. Now, these three we're going to talk about all together, but they do have a bit of a variety of jobs. The 28 here that you see is designed primarily for using when you're cutting around like a template, something like this where you've got a curve and you want to be able to stay in an arc. The blade is large enough here that rides on the template safely, unlike the next few I'm going to show you. But the 28 is wonderful because it's going to allow us to go around curves on templates nicely, but you're probably still able to do 4, maybe even 6 layers safely as you're cutting up against the Mylar, the templates like that. Now, the last 2 cutters I have are my actual favorites, and these are the 18 and my personal tool that I invented called the Shark Applique Cutter. You can buy them at www.robappel.com. Enough advertisement. I made the 14 based on the 18. The 18 millimeter cutter is designed to be a freestyle cutter. So basically what you do with a 18 or my 14 is you're gonna hold it like a pen. So I wanna make sure you can see my grip is different. I'm no longer holding it like a rotary cutter. I am holding it like a pen or maybe a fork, depending on how you hear that. So now I can do a nice freestyle cut through here, and this works nicely, but I just felt like the tool could be improved, mostly in coming in with a smaller wheel, because the smaller the wheel, the more it's going to corner efficiently. So this is a 14 millimeter blade, and you can also put the 18 millimeter blade on this handle, and the same thing with this little curve, but I can get some really crazy intricate curves going really nice and easy with a little 14 millimeter cutter like that. Boom. A lot of information. And I've got a couple more of these videos that's gonna have the same kind of feel to it, just on cutters. Next, we're gonna do rulers and some other sewing management, but I just wanna give you some fantastic information to maybe help you improve your skills while making it fun.